Hey, young warriors, and welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our spoiler-free review for Reservation Dogs Season 2. Hello, I'm J-Law, but you can call me Justin, and if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things Geekcentric. Joining me for this review, Mr. Nate Shelton. You shit ass.
You're the real shit ass. I'll tell you that much.
I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't dispute that. I would say that yes, I am a shit ass.
Actually, when you think about it, we're all kind of shit asses in life at times.
At times,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, and I also think that this show uses that term in different ways. Yeah, it could sound mean depending on the context. In other ways, it's
endearing.
It's a term of endearment.
Yeah, it sounds endearing. Absolutely. And if you know, then you know what we're talking about when it comes to Reservation Dogs. We are talking about Reservation Dogs Season 2. Huge thanks to our friends at Disney Plus Canada for hooking us up and letting us check out these first 4 episodes early. 3 of the 4 episodes are out now for you to enjoy on Disney Plus in Canada. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but it is an FX series. So wherever you are globally, and if you can somehow find your way to finding FX series content, that's where you're going to want to look. So before we get into our review, let's catch you up to speed about what the show's about. This is a comedy series about 4 Native American teenagers growing up on a reservation in eastern Oklahoma. I'm going to throw it over to my main man, Nate, the main shit ass of this podcast, to tell us who's starring in this and who these creators are.
Yeah, absolutely. So the show stars Devery Jacobs, DeFero Woon Atai, Lane Factor, Paulina Alexis, Elva Guerrera, Sarah Podemski, Lil Mike, Funny Bone, Zon McLarnon, who's one of my favorites, Dallas Goldtooth, Jude Barnett, Xavier Big Pond, John Proudstar, as well as Jack Miracle, Maddie Cardaropol, Kirk Fox, Gary Farmer, who plays Uncle Brownie, who's freaking fantastic. And I'm sure, Dalton Kramer is in a few episodes as well. He actually plays a very pivotal role, again, for those who know. And there's sort of some additions as well with these first 4 episodes. One in particular that I want to highlight, which is Tamara Podemski, sister of Sarah Podemski. She shows up in episode 4, and I love her performance in this series. And she was also great in another show that we actually never even talked about, called Outer Range, which we all really, really dug.
Yes.
And she's fantastic in that series as well. Now, Reservation Dogs it's created by Taika Waititi, but it's directed also by Sterlin Harjo, Black Horse Lowe, Tazba Chavez, Sydney Freeland, Danis Goulet, and Erica Tremblay. And also, I think Devery Jacobs at one point didn't direct one of these episodes.
She wrote.
She did write.
She
one
writes
of these
episode
episodes,
4.
Right?
Yeah, she writes episode 4, which I think is like probably of the 4 episodes is the most powerful. We'll get into it. Yeah, no, Sterlin Harjo and Taika Waititi are both the creators of this series. They're actually friends.
Okay.
But Sterlin Harjo is definitely sort of the showrunner, director. He's directed several of these episodes, and he's almost always accredited as a writer. So it's definitely the brainchild of Sterlin Harjo. And I think Taika Waititi has worked with him to develop it into a series that, again, is fearless. I think it's funny because every time we watch these 4 episodes, the FX logo shows up and it says fearless. And I think that's how you can very much summarize this show. And many of the shows that they do, it is about being bold in the modes of storytelling, and I think this show is absolutely embraces that in terms of how it approaches telling the story of Native American teenagers growing up in a reservation community in eastern Oklahoma. Nate, what was your impressions coming off of season 1 going into season 2, and how did you feel about these 4 episodes?
Yeah, well, it's funny because we've been wanting to talk about this series for a long time after discovering season 1. And I think, Justin, you sort of fell upon it, and then you said, "Hey, Nate, you got to get into this," and I started watching it, and I binged the entire season 1 in like a day and a half. It's such a beautiful show, and I think this season only furthers the themes and core values of the first season. I love how the show so seamlessly moves between lighthearted moments and heavy moments, and I think that's something that we get a lot from Taika as a director with a lot of his projects, but I guess also Sterlin Harjo in the writing. It's just so masterful. It's like a different genre, so to speak, where yes, it does have that drama, yes, it does have that comedy, but I wouldn't even go so far as to call it a dramedy. I think it sort of sits somewhere on its own, where you've got these sort of feelings that you're having throughout the series of they find ways to take things that are even considered mundane and turn them into really beautiful moments, but also hilarious moments. And the show, as hilarious as it is, it's never so goofy that it takes me out of it. It never gets to a place where it feels unrealistic. And I think that's one of the best parts about the series, is how grounded it is while still being so comical at the same time.
Yeah, that is its strength, is being grounded and comical 100%. And I think that the idea of how you balance the heavy with the funny, I think that's life. And I feel like this very much emulates life. Like these characters never feel overtly, as you described, goofy or silly, that they wouldn't be believable. There is one character, I guess, that you could say, who plays a spirit, who is very goofy, but even in his moments when he is interacting with the characters, it's about a truth, it's about an honesty, it's about a lesson that is very much disguised in a very lighthearted, comical way that gives you reflection. It's really well crafted in that regards of how it toes between this grounded humor that hits home. And even though we're talking about Native Americans and indigenous culture, it's extremely relatable, right? Like it's extremely relatable from different angles, and actually sheds more light on what life is like in a reservation community.
It does that, you're right, but it does it in a way that doesn't necessarily hold your hand.
No.
It says, hey, if you're interested in some of the things that you're not understanding right now, look it up, figure it out, learn about it, because clearly you're still following along with the show. And I think that's excellent, because again, it keeps that grounded level. It's not ever pandering towards an audience that's, they're trying to be like, hey, we're trying to teach you things. No. This is the culture that it's presenting.
It's showing
and
you.
if you want to learn more about it, you have the
culture.
ability to do that. It's showing you rather than telling you.
Exactly.
And I think the other big part about it as well is the cast is so phenomenal. I think, again, aside from that spirit character like Dallas Goldtooth, who, let's just get it right out of the way here. Dallas Goldtooth is incredible in this show. He is the perfect representation of this series, because he's literally the personification of tradition blended with modern dialogue and sensibilities. He says some things that I'm just like, I would never imagine him saying, but then he always ties it back to the culture, and I think it's so phenomenal. But this cast, aside from him, if this show was shot a little bit differently, if this show was shot as a documentary, the cast could give the same performance, and I would believe it, because they're so, again, we bring up the word grounded. They're so real. I think, shout out, honestly, best performances have to be coming from Devery Jacobs, who plays Dan and Alora. She is, that fourth episode was just absolutely incredible with her. And then throughout all of season 1, and I'm hoping we get a little bit more time with her in this season 2, because we haven't gotten as much from her in season 2. But Willie Jack, Paulina Alexis is absolutely just so stellar. And I just think that, again, this cast just does such a good job of giving the performance where some of it is written, but there's got to be moments where they are definitely riffing, or they're just kind of improving at times, because it feels too real for it to be written.
Well, there's a balance of that, right? Like, you sometimes cast people that are real people in real life to be in these shows and maybe play a character, right? But you're casting them because they bring an authenticity. So I think that the show definitely has a balance of both. You brought up Uncle Brownie, Gary Farmer. I love his character and the perception of the elder. Do you know what I mean? And the idea of being so tied to your traditions, but also honoring it and moving forward, which was, I can totally get with. And I think the show very much is about that, is staying steeped in culture and traditions, while also talking about today and what is happening today for these characters. And Devery Jacobs is as Alora, she's fantastic, and her character alone, seeing the amount of trauma that she has gone through and that and how she's dealing with it, because the first season does such a great job of introducing to each of these four characters, sharing their relationship and their bond with their friend Daniel, and what has happened to him. And how that's been carried with them, and this idea of wanting to break out of this box, which I think they very much looked at, the reservation is this box. So they wanted to go to California and do that. And it's just it's that desire of wanting to be something outside of what you think, right? That desire to want to learn more. So I love it. And I love that, in season 1, we did get to spend time with each of these characters, and Paulina Alexis is fantastic. She's so authentic and real that it's hard to tell when she's acting and when she's not. But she's, like you said, like a lot of these characters definitely have a sense of believability to their portrayals that makes them feel like they would be real characters, real people in real life. So
I can't wait to see Devery Jacobs in Echo. I'm so excited for that. We're obviously the Geekcentric podcast. We're super Marvel geeks, but I will also just kind of mention as well, like, the honesty, right? And I think you could easily write a character like Rita, or write a character like Zahn McClarnon's Big, he plays a cop, right?
Yes.
Or you could write a character like Uncle Brownie, and because they're the elders, because they're the people that these kids are looking to, you could write them with less faults, but they don't. They have all the same faults and all the same problems, and they're so honest with the writing. I think it's so fantastic. And again, I that episode 4 is absolutely beautiful. It hits the feels. I also want to shout out, kind of looking at this series, the 4 episodes we got, the first 2 episodes work together as a full arc. And we say it all the time, I love bookending. And so we get a really wonderful bookend narration by Willie Jack that, she gets you up to speed on what happened at the end of season 1 and where all these characters were left off. And then by the end of episode 2, we kind of get another sort of almost like a closing of that arc from her. We get so much more Dallas Goldtooth this time around than I think we did in season 1, where it felt like kind of he was there as a guest character. Here he kind of feels like a main character. At least he's been in all 4 episodes. And then we get some episodes that are focusing on the entire group, but then some that focus on a single character. Like Alora last season, we got sort of a very wonderful story of just her and her driving instructor, whereas this episode 3 this season, we get an episode with Bear, and I think it's so nice to focus on these smaller moments that, really, besides the endings, they don't factor into the whole storyline at all, but they add so much.
They tell the story of the
characters, right, to grow them and to give us an understanding of their journeys. And I think it does such a good job of taking literally a half an hour and makes it feel like we've been with this character for
meaningful.
3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
so good.
It's extremely meaningful, and I think last season they nailed it with some of their character focused episodes, like the one with that focused on Willie Jack and her father and hunting, and season 1, like Lane Factor had an episode with Zahn McClaren, so Big Cheese, if you want to call it. Like I loved that it was like that was the episode, and that was another great episode. And those character focused ones, just like season 1 did what it needed to do with helping you tell the story about each of these characters and their lives and this community. And now here in season 2, it picks up, as you said, it picks that up and it goes further with it, and really enriching sort of the cultural values that they hold to each other, and how that even deepens that relationship that much more. And I think episode 4 is 100% a testament to that.
It's so good. I think, again, each character is so different too. They all. It's nuts how after like a season and 4, let's say 1 season and these 4 episodes, I know them all so well. and it's such a testament to do with the writing on this show, because again, as we kind of said earlier, maybe about the culture, but also about these storylines for these characters, it's all show and not tell. And I love that. I like the way that expository information is delivered in this show so seamlessly through the dialogue. You don't even realize it's happening when it's happening. You're being fed this information and you're learning more, but you're at no point in time did I ever feel like, oh, they're telling me this to set something up. It's just you're just sort of along for the journey. And I also want to shout out the music. I think is great. I think it perfectly complements each scene. There's a very specific taste. There's a lot of soft guitar and sort of bouncy piano at times. And I think they do such a good job of emphasizing the right moments at the right time. So I thought that was really good stuff too, man. I could keep gloating about this episode or these 4 episodes, but
gushing.
I think people are getting a pretty good idea of
you're
where we're at
overflowing. I just need to put a cap on it right now. I think the music, it has its own unique score, but it also leverages music and popular culture intelligently. And I think that the note about how they've deliver expository information, I think that's probably one of my favorite parts, is that, to your point, it's done masterfully because it's always done differently. Like it could be something as typical as someone narrating a story with some sort of visual over top. Like we've seen things like that happen and get that information. But then it can also be like someone telling someone else's story, a shared piece of information that helps deepen. And I think we get a little bit more of that. Again, these 4 kids are learning more about themselves through their elders and through those around them, and understanding, their perspective. So I think that the show, again, it's just, we're gushing hard on this. I don't even think this is a review as much as it is just a gush over this show, because I don't think I don't have anything negative to say. I'll throw it to you.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I will just also say, for those who have watched the first season, Jackie Elva Guerra is also fantastic in these episodes, and she's definitely got a more prominent relationship with Dannon, and she's got more of I think she's a main character now, whereas before she was kind of a part of the other group, the rival kids, essentially, right? Now she's definitely become friends, and I'm so excited to see her and Dannon's relationship kind of bloom and grow.
I honestly think that you're right. Jackie, I can't wait to see Jackie's story unfold a little bit more. We've just got a bit of her story, but she's going to get a very character focused episode as well. I think you're absolutely right. And to see her and Alora just kind of connect on a level that I think is both personal to them with loss, I think that's going to be very much the root of their friendship and how they kind of go further in this story together.
Yeah, man.
Well, as you can see, we absolutely love this show, and I think it shows based on the words. We got nothing bad to say, so I think it's safe to say we should just get to our final thoughts with our rating, which will be on a scale of 1 to 5 shit asses.
Okay. We discussed how, again, bringing up Marvel, our favorite parts of Miss Marvel was getting to learn about Kamala's culture and family and her family history. And I remember thinking and talking about on our Watch Club, that is the standard that shows need to look at as far as representation and celebration of culture in media. And this is right up there with it, 100%. Not only am I learning so much about different indigenous cultures, I'm also able to connect directly with these people on the side of family and love and loss. And it's such an achievement for that. And I can't stop thinking about it. It's probably my favorite show of the year for sure. And that's saying something, because we got some really dope shows this year.
And we only got 4 episodes of this one too, so
yeah, I know, we're only 4 episodes into this one. This show is listed as a comedy, but it's so much more than just moments of hilarity. It's really special. Definitely, please go check it out. I'm gonna give these first 4 episodes 5 out of 5 shit asses.
I'm right there with you. I think this is easily one of my favorite shows of the year, and we only got 4 episodes, and I think that says a lot. I think it is what it's building off of from season 1. The way it uses humor to talk about the realities of living in a reservation community, and it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's generational in telling all sides of the story, and I love it for that reason. The first 4 episodes continue everything I love about the show and goes deeper, and the effects of sort of personal and generational trauma and what that looks like from person to person, while still finding a way to make it lighthearted and make you laugh and make you reflect and make you sit and just sort of feel those feelings. Like, I think that, like you said earlier, it's just a mastery in how it makes you feel these things all at once. And it's not about being dark and depressing. It's about being real and authentic. And I think that this is what this show does so well. It celebrates all sides of Indigenous culture. And while that is the focus, I think that all of the things at play, like family, love, loss, like you mentioned, that is what makes it overly relatable and allows anyone to connect with the themes and the stories that are being told in this series. So yeah, I'm with you. For these 4 episodes, I am giving it a 5 out of 5 shit asses. It's television at its best, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this season. And it is out in the United States now, and they are promoting episodes and stuff like that. They're further ahead, and from some of the marketing, and I think from what we're going to get for the rest of the season, it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a really fun time, and I think it's going to tell some interesting stories that we wouldn't have expected for this season. So I think it's going to have fun, but it's also going to still have that heart. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. I think we both are, based on our 5 out of 5 shit asses for this series. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, feel free to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to write into the show and let us know your thoughts on Reservation Dogs season 1 or this upcoming season 2, well, you can do so by reaching out to us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT or on Instagram at wearegeekcentric. Don't be a shit ass. Reach out. Say hi. Keep in mind, we have a ton of episodes out now, including a variety of spoiler-free reviews for Disney's live-action Pinocchio. We also have one for Netflix's Cobra Kai Season 5. We also have our spoiler-free review for Cars on the Road, the Pixar and Disney series that is on Disney+. All that stuff is out for you to enjoy on all the various streaming services. We also got a whole bunch of subsequent interviews to go along with it. We got an interview with Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard, the composers of Pinocchio. We also got an interview with Zach Kreger, the director and writer of Barbarian, also out now. Nate sat down with the director and had a lovely little chat about all things spooky. So definitely go check that out. And he also chatted with Mr. Dan Whitney, a.k.a. Larry the Cable Guy, a.k.a. the voice of Mater from the Cars series. That was definitely a good time. It's crazy.
So nice.
I'm still going to say it. Podcast with Mater. It's the best thing ever.
It's got to happen.
And this coming week, we have more stuff on the way. We have our ongoing watch club for She-Hulk dropping every Friday. But next week, we got some stuff for you for Andor. We got a couple of interviews and a spoiler-free review, as well as a watch club. A lot of stuff starting up there with Star Wars. We're going to get some Star Wars back on live action, and it is going to be a good time. Nate, thank you so much for joining me for this spoiler-free review, you shit-ass. Don't be a shit-ass,
Thank you, shit-ass.
Don't be a shit-ass.
Oh, I'll try not to.
As we say.
Love ya.
Peace, shit-ass.